So our good buddy's back in the news. That's right. Famed actor, one of our favorites from of all time, Kevin Spacey is back in the spotlight here because he went on Piers Morgan on his show to, I don't know, I guess get interviewed. I didn't watch the whole, I got the old reels, the Cliff Notes version of what happened, but basically he was on there. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's the way that somebody cut the reel or it was just how the interview goes, but basically he's talking about how he didn't touch any girls on, he was on Epstein's flight for the Clinton Foundation, but he's like, I had nothing to do with those little girls. And then he just segues randomly. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm also homeless." It doesn't fucking make sense to me. He's just like, he's talking about how he wasn't on the flights. He was only there for the Clinton Foundation. I was there for charity, I swear. I had nothing to do with those little girls. Also, I have to go sell my whole. I have to go sell my home in Charles. It's like Charlesville or something. He's like, I have to sell it. I don't know where I'm gonna live. It's like, Jesus Christ, Kevin, relax. Surely, I mean, I know this guy. He obviously has like millions of dollars in lawsuits because I think he was acquitted of like the original seven. I briefly looked into it again because I'm like, oh yeah, Kevin Spacey. I remember him. He was a fucking awesome actor, and then he kind of ruined his whole life by being a fucking creep. That's always the worst. I've said it before. It sucks, man. It really does suck. And again, I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, I'll watch a Kevin Spacey movie and just get pissed off. I'm like, ooh, fucking, that guy's a creeper, man. It's just like, no, I separate the art from the artist. Same with like, there's some good music made by some fucked up people, but either way, it's just like this guy. He kind of made his bed, and even though he's got millions of dollars in lawsuits, and I think he's still fighting them too, some because he got acquitted of like, yeah, I think 9 or 10 of them. I was looking through, and then but he had like 20 additional ones, so it was kind of insane. So I don't know how broke he is, but I don't think he's like normal person broke. You know what I mean? Like you and me, people listening to this podcast, the average people. Yeah, I don't think he understands. Like, huh, I'm gonna have to sell my $100 million mansion, and good lord, God forbid I might have to move into like a $1 million house, $500,000 house. Like he actually cries. He literally is crying in this interview. It's the most fucking pathetic thing I've ever seen because it's like you literally, it's all just shit you did, and you got away with it for like 40 years. I think the first allegation was literally in like 1986 or something like that. Like it was in the 80s, and then it's finally coming to light, like in 2017, 2016, something like that. I think that's when the allegations first started getting thrown around. But like the worst was, if you guys remember, like I remember when the allegations were first starting, and what the fuck was his name on? He had a character on Kevin. I'm just gonna Google here. Kevin Spacey character on House of Cards. What was his name? I can't remember. Francis Underwood. Okay, that's his name. That was his character. Oh, just hit the mic. That was his character's name on the very famous show House of Cards. And that's, everybody loved that show. Everybody loved him in that show. He was awesome. And I mean, nobody can really argue with that. But like, he did like this weird video where he was Kevin Spacey, but he was playing that character, and he was talking about like how people basically trying to defend himself by playing a character. It was really fucking strange. I'm sure you guys can find the video somewhere. It was it was really something. But yeah, and then he went on the one, I don't know, because the whole fucking LGBTQ shit was coming out at that time too. So he went on the one show and he's like, I'm gay. And like excuse me. He went, it's like, I'm gay, and then I don't know. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, yeah, we know you fucking molested a boy, you son of a bitch. Like, what are you talking about? So I don't know. He was just a weird character because it really does suck because I respected him so much for all of his roles. He was a really great actor, but Jesus Christ, when all that shit comes to light, they're just pathetic, right? It's just, I don't know. So don't fall for his crocodile tears now. He's gonna be fine, guys. He's gonna still have. He probably has like several other mansions to live in. So let's not feel too bad for Kevin Spacey. Let's feel bad for the victims that he fucking victimized over his 40-year crime spree there. Either way, let's start this thing. Welcome everybody back to Not Just Bored, episode number 119. Yeah. Poor Kevin Spacey, am I right? He will move on from crying on on TV. So yeah, what's been going on this week? Well, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. There's one thing I haven't looked into this all that much, but I've just heard snippets on the internet, and people talk, people whisper. I heard whispers. Little late for trimming the verge, is it? Lord of the Rings reference, guys, but we'll move on. I heard of these rumors on the internet and just things being thrown around, but about the whole Donald Trump thing, and he's guilty on his in this trial. And again, I haven't looked into this thoroughly, and I probably should to get a better perspective on it, so I'm not just shooting the breeze. But that's kind of what I do. That's my thing. Don't take it away from me. But I just hear all this stuff about how he's guilty and they're gonna put him behind bars and whatnot. But look, guys, just listen, hear me out here. Whether you like Trump, whether you hate him, here's my thing, and I've said this before. Is he volatile? Yeah, he's very volatile. Absolutely he is. But do I think he had this agenda to make America terrible and racist and all this stuff that people think? No, I don't. I really think that he had the best intentions for America. I honestly am saying that, and there's probably a lot of people throwing their hands onto their heads and going like, what the fuck, man? I thought you were the code man, not the chode man. Why are you defending the racist? And that's the thing. It's just when you look into stuff, when you look into like allegations against somebody and, whether they're a piece of shit or not, I don't find anything. There's nothing on Donald Trump. Again, there's the whole Stormy Daniels thing, which is part of the trial, right? It's like, oh yeah, he had sex with somebody. Like, fucking big deal. Do you guys know how many fucking people do that in Hollywood and everywhere? How many people cheat on their spouses? How many people pay for sex? All that kind of stuff. Like, it would blow your fucking mind. Like, get over it. And from that, it's just the whole, I just don't understand this whole narrative of racism and sexism and all that stuff. But then you realize once you look at the internet and the how volatile Donald Trump really is, that's kind of the thing, right? Because the people in power of the United States, they want somebody they can control. Like Biden. He's a good puppet, especially now because he's fucking clearly compromised. He's not all there, if you know what I mean. Poor old Sleepy Joe. But perfect puppet, right? Perfect. But Trump? No, not so much. Much like there used to be another guy that wasn't really a puppet that couldn't be controlled, Little guy called, I don't know if you might not remember him. His name was JFK. And you remember what happened with that. So, and now people are thinking, well, why don't they just kill Trump, right? It's because it's fucking 2024. That's too obvious. We're going to know what's going on then. When JFK was killed, like things got declassified and people are looking into it. It's like coming to light now and people are like, oh yeah, I think they killed him for sure. But still, back then you could get away with it. There's not 600 people with iPhones on the grassy knoll, filming everything. There's one guy with a fucking, he's got a flashbang camera with, he's got I think they had the video camera where you had to constantly reel the side, like you had to manually crank the reel. So, it's really shitty quality videography back then. That's all they had. But nowadays, you got computers, you got everything. There's screens everywhere watching you 24/7. You got to be very careful about what you do. So they can't just outright do some bullshit like that. So, but with this whole trial thing, the reason I'm talking about this is that it's really clear to me that they're out to get him. They really don't want him to run. They really want to get rid of him. And to me, that should tell you guys that that's kind of a sign that maybe he is a good person to vote for. You know, maybe he is the right choice because he can't be controlled and he's not being controlled. He really did wonders for their economy and he did put America first, even though sometimes he kind of strong armed other nations. For sure, he did, our own nation included, Canada. He definitely, put tariffs on us too, but he's looking out for his country. That's one thing that Canada doesn't fucking do. Not with Trudeau, anyway. Sorry. I almost went one podcast without mentioning his name. Sorry, guys, but we're back. We're gonna hold on. I just gotta slide the number over here. You guys can't see it. There's no video yet, but right next to my computer, I have this little. It's like a little. Looks like a little scoreboard, but it's got a number in the middle. It's podcasts since I mentioned the word Trudeau, and I just had to reset it. It was on 0 still, so actually I don't have to change it at all. We're good to go. But I don't know. I just want to bring that up as a little tidbit there because if you look into the facts of the matter and how the legal system should work, they're really pulling out all the stops and they're really going through a bunch of loopholes. And I don't know, it's weird, but again, it's one of those things. Like, do I think Donald Trump's this ethical billionaire, awesome man? No, he's absolutely a corrupt billionaire, like all of the other billionaires. But at least to me, he's one of the most human ones because he speaks the truth. Just because, like, I always point back to that clip of when it was Hillary Clinton. They were doing the debate, and he was talking about how he's like, "Yeah, I don't pay very much taxes." He's like, "But I know you won't." He's like, "I use the same loopholes that you use," and he's like, "I know you won't close those loopholes because the people that fund your campaign are the ones that use them as well." So it's like he was just honest. He's like, "Yeah, I'm scamming the system, but so are you guys." So he's still being, a piece of shit in a way, not paying his taxes properly, but he's just doing the exact same shit that they're doing. So if they were to actually make the laws and close those loopholes, then things would be normal, but they won't because they benefit from them too. They just don't tell people that they benefit from them because obviously they're scared. They don't want people to revolt. But I don't know. Fucking weird. Think what you think. Maybe we'll talk about it sometime. Maybe I'll get Stremy on here. He's the political mastermind of this all. I don't know how much he pays attention to American politics, but I'm sure he'd like to have a conversation about it. Stremick, reach out to me. You want to have a conversation about Donald Trump? Let me know. Maybe we'll do like an AI generated conversation between Trump and Biden, but instead of AI, it's just us voice acting. I can be Trump or Biden. This is my Biden. My Biden is, hey, and the kids would touch my legs and the hair would stand up on my leg and there's donuts down here. I came down because I heard there was going to be donuts. Yeah, it's terrible. But moving on, guys. This actually scares the shit out of me. Honestly. Sorry, Mike. There we go. Sorry, that was loud. I had to move my seat guards down. I don't know. What do they call those things? They're on a chair. Armrests. That's fucking armrests. That's what they're called. I was like trying to make up a word that already existed. I'm like, arm guards? Armrests for your chair. They make a clicking sound when they're in the upward position. And I can't help it. I'm a fidgety person. Even when I'm recording, I have to my hands have to play with something and do something. So, too much reels, man. My dopamine receptors are drained. I need more endorphins, man. But moving on. Again, this does scare the shit out of me. I'm gonna be also referencing it's a Wired article. It's from June 4th this year. And they're talking about this hacker tool extracts all the data collected by Windows' new Recall AI. So, for those of you that don't know, this came out. I can't remember when they announced it, and I don't know the whole story of if it's implemented in Windows 11 or if it's just on certain, like, I've heard it's on certain like Windows notebooks, like laptops. I heard it's on there already, but I heard it's I think it's supposed to roll out with Windows because it's a Windows feature. But either way, so Microsoft, for those of you that don't know, they rolled out this feature, and it's an AI feature for Windows, and it'll run on any Windows computer, laptop, whatever. And the idea of it, it's called Recall, and it takes a screenshot of your screen. I think it's every 3 seconds. Something like that. Let me just look. I'll just look on this. I'll just look through this article here. Yeah, when Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella revealed the new Windows AI tool that can answer questions about your web browsing and laptop use, he said one of the magical things about it was that the data doesn't leave your laptop. Yeah, bullshit on that. The Windows Recall system takes screenshots of your activity every 5 seconds, there you go, and saves them on the device. But security experts say that data may not stay there for long. Okay, so that's the start of this Wired article. Now, obviously, that's a problem to me. First of all, when they say it doesn't leave your laptop, I don't believe that. I just don't. I'm sorry, Microsoft. I'm literally recording this right now on a Windows computer. Sorry, I'm still going to use your shit, but I don't believe you. I don't believe you that stays on your computer. And even so, who cares if it stays on your computer? Obviously, people are freaking out about this, and it kind of scares me too, because hackers, right? If a hacker gets in your computer, they look into your recall folder, they have everything that you've ever done. So that's, again, not only that's blackmail, if you're got, whatever you're doing, looking at some porno, it doesn't matter. Sites are on, could be your login information, could be your passwords. It depends on how sensitive this AI is. I doubt this AI is why am I saying AI? Jesus Christ. But I doubt this AI is like censoring your passwords or, just, stuff like that. Like when you're you're on a login screen for whatever, Simple or Questrade, I don't know, whatever app you use, and you're logging in and you have the thing set so your password shows because you can't tell what you're typing or what, so people want to check their password. Say it takes a screenshot, then is the AI going to blur that image, or is your password just going to be fucking there? So I don't know, guys. I don't know the full implications of this, but the idea of what is the point, right? What is the point? And people are talking about, oh, it's the magical things about it. They're saying like it can answer questions about your web browsing and laptop use, but like, for who fucking cares? What is that going to help? Like, I just don't get to me, this is just like essentially spyware. That's all it is. It's just a way for somebody to get your information on your computer. Because nobody's gonna be like, oh, I can't remember that website I was on. Oh, I'll just look at my recall folder. It must have got a snapshot. Like, no, that's not realistic. That's not gonna fucking happen. But either way, let's go on here. 2 weeks ahead of Recall's launch on new Copilot Plus PCs on June 18th, security researchers have demonstrated how preview versions of the tools store the screenshots in an unencrypted database. Oh, that's good. The researchers say the data could easily be hoovered up by an attacker. And now, in a warning about how Recall could be abused by criminal hackers, Alex Hagana, that's an awesome name, a cybersecurity strategist and ethical hacker. That's a sweet, like, Can you imagine that? That's an awesome title. I'm a cybersecurity strategist and ethical hacker. I'm Simi Yi and Anonymous teamed up together. Simi Yi was a tactician from Field China. No, no, okay, whatever, guys. Play Dynasty Wars, bitch. Either way, moving on. Yeah, has released a demo tool that can automatically extract and display everything Recall records on a laptop, dubbed Total Recall, based off the 1990s sci-fi film, of course. One of my favorites, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Love that one. The tool can pull all the information that Recall saves into the main database on a Windows laptop. The database is unencrypted. It's all plain text, Haganah says. Since Microsoft revealed Recall in mid-May, security researchers have repeatedly compared it to spyware or stalkerware that can track everything you do on your device. It's a Trojan 2.0 really built in, Haganah says, adding that he built Total Recall, which he's releasing on GitHub, in order to show what is possible and to encourage Microsoft to make changes before Recall fully launches. The company unveiled Recall as part of a Surface laptop event last month. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep going down to Haganah here. Total Recall, Haganah says, can automatically work out where the Recall database is on a laptop and then make a copy of the file, parsing all the data as it does so. While Microsoft's new Copilot Plus PCs aren't out yet, it's possible to use Recall by emulating a version of the devices. It does everything automatically, he says. The system can set a date range for extracting the data, for instance, pulling information from only one specific week or day, pulling 1 day of screenshots from Recall, which stores its information in an SQLite database. Took 2 seconds at most, Haganah says. Jesus. Yeah, so I'm not going to go too much further into this, but basically what he's saying is this Haganah guy's, he's poking holes in their security, and he's saying that's not the best thing in the world. Which, again, anybody who's got any slight idea of how computers and hacking and all that stuff works, you just know it's a bad idea. Anything that screen captures your device every few seconds, even if they're telling the truth, even if it doesn't leave your computer, the fact that it's on your computer in an unencrypted folder is scary. And what makes it more scary that people are saying is that people could use it like this Total Recall, which is kind of a reverse engineer. Hackers could use something like that to steal this stuff off your computer, your Recall data, and you would never know because it's using the Recall. And it's a Microsoft app. So Windows Defender won't flare up going, wee wee, we got an intruder. Because it's their own program. They're using Recall, which is a Microsoft program. So they said that's a big problem because it is raising red flags, but it won't raise red flags because it's actually a built-in feature, which is why they called it, spyware, or what was that other word? I've never heard that word before. Stalkerware. Yeah, I've actually never heard stalkerware before. I imagine it's pretty close, but either way, I don't know. That's all I really want to say about that one. It's that I'm definitely going to be, as long as I can, I'm going to be opting out of the Windows Recall system. I hope they give you an option to turn it off because I just don't think it's a good idea. But the other problem that the hacker said, the ethical hacker said, was he had a problem with the whole being able to trigger it on or off, is that if a hacker's in your computer, they can literally just turn it on and it doesn't matter. So they've got it anyway. So you're really fucked either way. So they should just stop this, because it really, to me, it has, when I think of programs on a computer, I think of functionality, and to me that has no functionality. So get rid of it. It's stupid. Either way, there's one other thing that happened this week, which is kind of cool. The Xbox showcase happened. And now, while I'm not a big Xbox guy, I just play on the PC. I still like to see what's going on. And let's be honest, most of the things that affect Xbox are on PC too. So I just wanted to see what was going on. And honestly, there's a few things that got me hyped a little bit, which were really cool. Number one, the new Fable game. They released more footage on that. I can't say this enough. I love Fable. I believe I've gone into it before on here, but Fable was one of my favorite games ever growing up. The first Fable I bought at a Blockbuster Video in the used game section for $5. And it was on Xbox Original. And I was just like, it was late at night. My dad had been renting some movies. And I saw this in the, he's like, oh, you can rent the game if you want, whatever. And we went over there and it was a $5, it was used, but it was a $5 game. And it was the first Fable on Xbox. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, it looks kind of cool. See, back then, you looked at the pictures on the game box and you were like, whether it looked cool or not. I'm like, it looks kind of cool. The cover art's kind of cool. The internet wasn't widely available on mobile devices at that time. You couldn't just look up a game on your mobile device and be like, what is this? That's not how it worked back then. You kind of just had to go based off the artwork, like we always did with movies and shit. This movie looks cool, but let's take it. But either way, little did I know that $5 game would consume my life for years to come. I played it. I've probably played through Fable 50 times. And like 30 of those were as a boy when it first came out, that bargain bin game. And then as an adult I got the Steam version, which is the extended version, because there was the Lost Chapters, but then they released another one. I can't remember what it was called, but it's like the definitive edition. Excuse me. It's like the Lost Chapters, but it's got more shit added to it. I think it's a remaster too. Like they updated the graphics. I honestly can't remember, but I've played it so many times. I love it so much. I just think it's so fun, and all the Fables, they got a little stupid with the guns and stuff. I didn't really care for that much. The guns I thought were really overpowered and just didn't fit the bill for. I don't. It's just weird, right? Having swords and magic and then guns. Again, I know they got to the Industrial Revolution and all that, and Reaver Industries. I get it. Yeah, it made sense for the time period of the game, but I just didn't personally care for it that much. Because literally you could just walk around that. I can't remember if it was Fable 2 or 3. I think it was 3. No, I think it was 2. But the ultimate pistol was just basically a machine gun. Like you just fired off 5 rounds super quickly, or 6, and then your guy reloads by spinning his weapon, and then you just go again. And it's just absolutely unfair to every enemy in your way. They're just fucked. So there's really no reason for magic or anything else. You just ran around with your revolver, and that's all you did. But again, still fun games, and I still love the best thing about Fable. It was better in Fable 2 and 3, because in Fable 2 and 3 you could buy houses and make passive income. You could do that in Fable 1, but it wasn't as easy because you had to actually kill people for their houses. Unless I think there were a couple houses that were there's a couple houses that are like homes you can buy, but for the other houses you had to kill people. Same with shops. And then when you didn't just get your rent automatically by when you rented them out, you had to actually walk by and collect the bags of money manually, which I guess makes more sense for the time because they weren't depositing it into your direct deposit, in the fantasy times. But for quality of life, we'll say in a video game, it's kind of nice. But I don't know. I'm really excited. They're doing a new Fable. And they've been talking about this game for probably 4 years, 5 years, probably as long as they teased Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, burn. Which I will say now, there is nothing about. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm just catching the cliff notes based on what people have said, but I haven't heard anything about Elder Scrolls 6 still, which is really fucking weird. Hold on, let me just look it up real quick. There's the whole Yeah, no, there's no. I don't think they announced anything about Elder Scrolls 6, which is fucking mind-boggling. I remember, like, I think it was on here I raged out a little bit, but I also raged out to some of my friends when I found out that literally the teaser trailer for here. I'm gonna look it up right now just to piss myself off. Elder Scrolls 6 teaser. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, fucking 2018. The announcement trailer. 2018. I swear I'm gonna keep this short because I've done it so many times on here. But what the fuck, Bethesda? What the fuck? 6 years. It was on June 10th. I'm recording this right now, and it'll be released on June 3rd. Yeah, June 13th. Literally 3 days off. So 6 years and 3 days ago, they released the announcement trailer for Elder Scrolls 6, which was a nothing sandwich, I might add. 6 fucking years. Now, I understand we had a pandemic and blah, 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 blah. Shut up. I don't care. Okay? Yeah, sure. The world went to shit for a little while. And it's still going to shit. But, 6 years. What the fuck are you doing? That makes no sense to me. And even then, it's been. It's been 12 years since Skyrim. Like, Skyrim was 2011, but it was it was like November. So it's pretty much 2012. But that's still 12 years. You know? Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, if they're going on this pace, Elder Scrolls 7 is going to be fucking. I'll be a fucking geriatric by the time I see that cocksucker. Fucking hell. I just don't understand. I don't think there's an excuse anymore for this. I'm sorry, and I know I've gone on like a 2-minute ramble here, but to me, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to release a stupid ass trailer and take 15 fucking years to release a game. Because you know what you do when you do that? You demand hype. And the longer it takes, the more hype there is. And it just really ruins people because there's no way this game is going to live up to its hype. I'm telling people that now. There's just no way. Especially if it's anything like Starfield. Like, what a piece of shit that was. Sorry, I'm getting a little angry here, but we'll get back to the Xbox case here. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I get a little worked up. But yeah, new Fable game. That's cool. I like that. 2025, we got a ways to wait, but still it'll probably come sooner than the Elder Scrolls 6. Oh, God! I just can't stop. I apologize. Other thing that's cool, there's a new Perfect Dark game coming out, which is cool. I think it's a reboot, so I think that's cool. Black Ops 6, who gives a fuck? Supposedly, I think Black Ops 6 is supposed to take place during, like, modern times. Like, during the... I heard something about it's going to include, like, September 11th and stuff. I don't know if that's true, but I'll have to see. I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty anymore. I just don't. They've just... when I hear Call of Duty, it's like hearing Halo at this point. My eyes just glaze over. I'm like, ugh, don't care. And yeah, they announced a discless system in white. Nobody gives a fuck. This was pretty cool. Gears of War E-Day. I did watch the trailer for this. The Gears of War E-Day. So it's a Gears of War game set on E-Day, which is, if you're a fan of the series, it's Emergence Day, which is when the grubs first came out of the ground. So I would be excited for that, and I might play that. I got Gears of War again. It was a whole fatigue thing. They had Gears of War 1 to 3. Fucking mint. Awesome. Great story. Amazing games. Just fun to play. Fun to play cooperative with a buddy. I may have mentioned how I was kind of a pro player in Gears of War 2 online. I won't get into it right now. I don't like to gas myself up too much, but that was kind of a big deal back in the day. The old melee shotgun. In the words of Ernest P. Worrell, I sure showed you. But Gears of War E-Day, kind of a neat little teaser trailer. Shows Marcus getting attacked by a grub, fights him off, almost falls to his death, and then Dom picks him up, which is a big deal also for people because obviously Dom dies in Gears of War. Oh, spoiler alert, Dom dies in Gears of War, I think 3. Yeah, it's 3. Drives his truck, and it's a really emotional scene, and it's really hard to watch for a lot of people, but Dom is always a fan favorite, so it'll be cool to be in a game where we can actually play as him again because it's a prequel. So I'm excited for that. Don't know much about it. I haven't played Gears of War in a while. I played Gears 5, but just on Steam it was $5. So we had a hankering to play Horde mode. And so I never played the story of Gears 5. I know nothing about Gears of War anymore. Like, I didn't play Judgment, Gears of War 4, no idea. Gears 5, again, played the Horde mode. Played it with some buddies. It was fun. It's a $5 game. I wasn't complaining. But other than that, yeah, I don't know anything. But this one, it's a prequel with familiar characters. I'd definitely check it out. Fallout 76 map expansion. Nobody gives a fuck. You can play as a ghoul. That's kind of cool, but still don't really give a fuck because I don't play Fallout 76, and I'm still thinking about it. I do own it because I got it for free when they released the Prime series, but I don't know. It was the same as the Elder Scrolls Online. I really thought I'd like the Elder Scrolls Online, and then I played it, and it suffers from what every MMO suffers from ever. It's just fucking nothing sandwich. It's just bullshit repetitive missions with some cool story intertwined, but I'd honestly much rather just play a solo single player Elder Scrolls game. But that's just me. Starfield's big expansion. Wow. Speaking of nothing sandwiches, I doubt that's gonna go anywhere because Starfield was a steaming bag of fucking dog shit. Again, Starfield, I'm sorry. It had the makings of a game, but it just there wasn't enough there. There wasn't enough to keep me around. And when I realized how blank the world was and just how not memorable the NPCs were, like I'm replaying Skyrim right now for the 800th time, and it blows my mind how many, like, I'll just walk around. There's so many NPCs that I just know. Like, even like the chick that gets killed, unless you save her in Markarth. What's her name? Froki? Fiolda? I think. I don't know. But like she's memorable to me because it's scripted that she dies. But if you know what's going to happen, you can save her quickly if you've played the game before. In Markarth, and then like just all the people. Mercer Frey from the Thieves Guild. There's so many like memorable characters in the, and some of them are just minor. Nazim, the most annoying character that everybody knows, the fucking Cloud District guy. Like, I don't even think there's a quest that concerns him. There's one, I think it's one for the companions or something, where there's a chance that he's the target, and all you gotta do is intimidate him or something. I can't remember, but it's, yeah, like just minor character, doesn't matter, but you remember him because he's just memorable. So like I'm walking around the world and there's so many people that you remember, and it's like, this is cool. It's cool. Starfield didn't have any of that. Everybody in the public was just unnamed yuppie, and that's it. There was nothing to keep you in there. There's nothing to keep you in that world. And I don't know. It wasn't good. I did not like it. There's so much substance missing from that game, and I really hope the Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't fall into that trap. But either way, last thing here that I'm going to talk about for for the podcast and for this showcase, the one thing I'm most excited about, Doom: The Dark Ages, is coming in 2025, and they released a trailer for it. And I watched this trailer. I was pretty drunk when I watched it, honestly, because I was on a company camping trip. But besides the point, I was watching. I'm like, fuck yeah! So it's Doom, and it takes place in, like, I'm guessing the Dark Ages, but all the things that the Doom Slayer has, like old school, like sword and shield. The one thing they really show off is he's got this shield, and he can like smash through people, and I don't know, it looks fucking cool. So there's probably gonna be more medieval type shit and just old school stuff, but it's still Doom. It's, you know, the Doom Slayer versus the Legions of Hell. So I think it's gonna be fucking cool. It'll be more of a dark fantasy style game as compared to the sci-fi of the newer ones. So I'm really excited for that. You guys should check out that trailer, Doom: The Dark Ages. The trailer's on YouTube. It's fucking, yeah, it looks so cool. I'm such a fan. That's one of the games, man. That's one of the games that's modernized that they didn't totally fuck it up. That they actually just did what they did. They took Doom, the source material, and they just made the new generation of Doom. That's what they did. It's fucking badass as hell. And yeah, I think he rides a dragon in the trailer too. Of some kind of thing. Maybe it's a demon. I don't know. But fucking badass as hell. So either way, guys, check out the Doom Dark Ages trailer. Check out the Gears of War trailer. The Gears E-Day. I think you'll like it. Either way, I'm going to wrap up this podcast here before I get angry about the Elder Scrolls 6 not being released yet. And thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. This was a more inspired episode than the last few. I hope. I've been little on the edge lately. Life gets you down sometimes. You get tired and you get grouchy and you're trying to make everybody happy in your life, and you just, once in a while, you just gotta slow down. Take your one step at a time. Just do what you can do. Don't try to overdo life. Just do what you can do. And if that means taking a week off your podcast or taking a week off anything, just do it. If it's good for your mental health, it's good for you. Again, I'm rambling on, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. Links to all social media are in the description below. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.